Hello there and welcome to Chris's Retro Corner. In a previous video I fetched down a box of old retro goodies from the loft and gave you a sneak peek as to what might be inside. So today we're going to have a slightly closer look. So we'll start off with this, and this is my first computer. It's a Commodore VIC20 and it was given to me by my Uncle Terry. I think it was for my 10th birthday, which would make it about 1985. Yeah, very fond memories of this computer. I've used it with a 12-inch black and white TV for quite a while before I got a colour TV. And as you can see, it is a colour computer. You can see on the keys there, you can program it and get colour. So it's quite a novelty when on the odd occasion I was allowed to use the TV in the front room. It's a little bit worse for wear now. So let's have a quick look. Hopefully it's all just cosmetic. It's very dusty and dirty. But yeah, it was working last time I used it, and at the moment I can't for the life of me remember when that might have been. I don't know. I got my Commodore Amiga, I think, for probably about my 14th. No, it was Christmas, I think, when I was about 14. And yeah, poor little VIC20 got relegated to the bottom drawer of my chest of drawers, where I kept pretty much everything: videos, tapes, vinyl, cables. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to cleaning this up and firing it out. Whether to recap before I do that, change all the electrolytic capacitors on the board, I don't know. I'm kind of tempted just to make sure, because I'm using a good power supply, a good new modern power supply with my Commodore 64. And it's fortunately, given the socket on the side here, the DIN socket on the side, my 64 power supply will go straight into there. So I know it's a good power supply, so I don't stand too many chances of frying the SID or the VIC chip inside, and they're the expensive ones to replace if you do fry them. So it might be a little erratic if there's some slightly dodgy capacitance issues, but yeah. So this is going to feature in a cleanup video, and an inspection, and then hopefully firing it back up again. So yeah, so that's a VIC20. So next thing in the box. There we go. The Commodore data recorder. There's several different versions of these. Let's have a quick look. See if we can see. It doesn't have a model number on it as such, but you can see the UV damage to the plastic there. Obviously, that's never seen the light of day being on a desk. So yeah, a fair amount of UV damage there. Whether to leave it like that, or whether to retro bright, try and get it back to its full glory, who knows. I can only assume that the cable sort of connector cover got damaged quite some time ago, because you can see the sellotape there is in obviously a slightly shonky attempt at trying to keep everything together, possibly before I'd really got to grips with the wonders of super glue. Yeah, my dodgy attempt at trying to keep that together with some sellotape that's, wow, who knows, 30 years old, 35 more like, don't know. But yeah, the rubber belts go in these, sort of either turn to complete smush and mush and sort of sticky up the internals, or just loosen up, slacken off. So this is going to need, it's definitely going to need a belt kit for sure. A very good cleanup. If you can, don't know if you can see in there, but that's proper dusty down there. Disgraceful, Chris. Oh, a slight rattle, hopefully that's just the cassette. Rockman, I can't for the life of me remember exactly what Rockman looks like now. I think it's basically a Boulder Dash clone. So yeah, that should probably be the first thing I try and play on this when I get that sorted out. So that's the data set. I've got no idea where the lid has gone for that. I did have a lid that came with it. I'm not quite sure where it's gone now. Okay, so next thing out's got to be this joystick here. So that's a cruiser joystick, possibly with a cat hair on it. This was my friend Kristen's joystick. I think he gave it to me out of sympathy, because I never did have a decent joystick. I got a Cheetah 125 Plus, and obviously a few of you go, oh wow, yeah, that was a great joystick, what was wrong with that? Well, it wasn't switched, it wasn't micro switched, it's just sort of leaf spring contact inside, so it wasn't great. It didn't make the best of connections, and you really did have to sort of wrench the stick one way or the other to get it to do anything. And subsequently I did break one of my two Cheetah 125s by doing very much that maneuver, and ended up just using the little stubby axle instead, which I actually found worked considerably better. So yeah, so I think he took pity on me, and let me have this one. A bit of blue tack stuck in the end there. Need to get that out before plugging in. Otherwise I think it's intact. I have got no idea why that screw's there. That one just there. No idea. I can only assume that it came apart at some point in the past, because there are other screws there. And I guess the internal mount sort of moulded into the top case there, just kind of crumbled and fell apart. So I don't know. It sounds okay. Ooh, right, sounds a little different, but but otherwise. And the interesting thing about these ones is, if you pull them out and then spin this collar here, you can stiffen it up ever so much, or you can slack off. You've got three settings. That's one of three settings. A little bit more wobble there. Or lastly, you can get quite a bit of travel on there. So depends how you feel, but that was pretty much the closest thing to proper arcade playing I did, both on the VIC20 and then on the Amiga. So yeah, looking forward to cleaning that up and testing it. I have got another one, a slightly more recent purchase, an all black one. I think they look pretty special in the black, but this has got the ball, the sort of arcade ball on the end of it, whereas the black version's a little chunkier, a little sort of squared off, flattened off at the top. So what's next in the box? Okay, let's go for this. Now this is an interesting one. Probably not going to even be able to see that down there. So let's try and bring this a lot closer. So this is a VIC20 cartridge, and it was given to me by my friend Richard Talbot. I can't for the life of me remember what's on this now. Let's spin it around so you can actually see what it says on the back. So made in the Philippines. What's the date? Have we got a date on there? 1983. There you go, 1983. Just in the top corner. By Thorn EMI Video Limited. But I've got no clue what the game is, because this is how I got this card. So this is how I got the card. Literally, just like that. It seems to have had some use. You can definitely see it's been used at some point in the past. But yeah, interesting one this, because I never got to play whatever is on it. I can't for the life of me remember what it is now. So yeah, it's a funny one. So when the VIC20 is up and running again, I'll be plugging this in and trying to get it to boot again. I tried all manner of things, switching on and off, pressing various key combinations. This is before I knew about the sys commands, and nowadays we can look things up on the internet and go, so how do I boot from a cartridge? And you just look it up. Back in the day I was like, no clue. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Right, next in the box. Okay, let's go for this one. Let's go for this one. So yeah, there we go. Texas Instruments Speak and Spell. Beautiful. What an absolutely iconic piece of 80s design. In fact, just a little earlier. I think they were produced at the very end of the 70s, and they carried on through a few iterations right through to the early 90s. Spotting this in there, I did have a quick look on the internet, and would you believe there's a company called Basic Fun who bought the license to this from Texas Instruments, and in 2019, at the date of making this video, that's only last year, actually recreated these pretty much exactly the same design. They look exactly the same apart from missing the Texas Instruments logo, and they're actually for sale at the moment. I'll try and include a link in the description if you're interested, but currently retail at £40 UK. But yeah, this one, however, has been kindly donated by my better half, Mrs. Retro Corner, because I didn't have one of these as a kid. I saw them about a lot. They were always on somebody's shelf, just sort of in the corner, and I was like, oh wow, Speak and Spell, and I'd kind of see it, and people would press some buttons and make it say something, and I was like, oh wow, that looks really cool. I never owned one, so she's very kindly donated this one, and yeah, I'm just trying to find trying to find a date of manufacture on there. I will have to look that up a little bit more closely. Retro Chris needs his retro glasses nowadays to be able to see print quite that fine. I don't even know if that's coming out on camera, but yeah, looking forward to cleaning that up a little bit and having a bit of a go with it. Obviously, missing battery compartment. This was back in the day before these things screw down, and now you can't lose them. It also means people forget to take the batteries out because they can't be bothered to undo the screw, and batteries kill the internals. So, double-edged sword, but I'm sure it will work without it. So yeah, again, looking forward to having a little bit of fun with that as well. Right, what's next in the box? Is that going to come out? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that'll come out. So. Wonderful. Okay, you've seen the VIC20, and if you wanted to see the VIC20 on your TV, this is what you needed. So this is a TV modulator. So it takes the hello. obviously a little bit security conscious there. I've got my name and address, childhood name and address. Obviously the name's not changed, but the address certainly has. But yeah, if you wanted to see this on the TV, you need to take the rather nice sharp signal from your 80s micro and modulate it into something that the regular TV can understand, and that's an RF signal. The output there, and you plug that into your aerial socket and tune it, or try to, as best you can. There we go. That's the video out from the VIC20. So yeah, pretty sure that's going to work. Although I do have composite cable, I'm using with the Commodore 64, so probably don't need this, but out of idle curiosity, of course, I'm going to clean it up and just check it works. Yeah, a little bit of the attic still on there. Okay. Right, next thing out of the box. There we go. Cool, blimey. It's a beast. It's a beast. I didn't realise that was quite as heavy as it was. But yeah, that's my printer. So I bought this probably only about a year after owning my Amiga. It's as you can see there, it's a Brother M1109 printer. It's a very nice printer. It's very compact. It is supposed to do that. It does just rest on the top. Let's pop that to the side for a moment. So yeah, you've got some serial and parallel ports on the back of that. Yeah, it's really compact. I was looking at one of the Star printers. It is just black and white, this one. I was looking at a Star colour printer. I'm desperately trying to remember the model numbers of that. But yeah, it's a solid device. Like I said, I can't believe how heavy it is actually, which is a bit of a surprise. Any date? Any date on that at all? I don't know if you can see one, but I certainly can't. But yeah, I think I bought this about a year after I'd had my Amiga, and it served me really well. It's a little 9-pin printer. Let's take that off. Try not to shake the dust everywhere. And you can see it's a really good little design. I don't know if that's going to come out easily enough. Yeah. So you just literally this attachment clips on the end here. So when you get your brother cassette ribbon, stretch it out, plug this bit in here, that bit in there, just keys in, and just feed it very much like a typewriter ribbon. If you know what a typewriter is, of course, that is. Some of you, of course, won't have used a typewriter. Just down in front of the print head there, and away you went. It's a really compact print head. I'll get that a little closer for you, so you can actually see. But it's a really compact print head. Really very nice, very simple, elegant design. And I never had any problems with this. So yeah, I think I had 2 ribbons. I had the one it came with, which wasn't great, and then this one. I was sort of using it, I suppose, for sort of 2 or 3 years. It definitely got to the point where I'd used the ribbon quite a bit, printed off sort of manuals and readmes and stuff like that. I don't know if you can see on here at all. Let's try and pick up a bit of ribbon. It's going to be really hard to see. I don't know if you can, but there's a bit of a line sort of in the middle of that ribbon. Again, like I say, it's pretty hard to see. There's a line in the middle of that ribbon there where it's sort of worn, and I definitely used this a bit beyond the lifespan of the original ink cartridge. Cartridge. Look at that, getting all high tech on you now. On the original ribbon, and I haven't got a first clue how this goes back in again now. Cool, how embarrassing is that? Must go there. There we go. And yeah, there were all manner of ways that you could sort of elongate the lifespan of these ribbons. And I remember my dad had a sort of an old-fashioned ink pad. So this is like a felt pad, whereby you take a stamp, literally a fixed stamp, smack it on the ink pad, and then stamp it on the paper. And I've definitely there. I mean, I've got slightly black fingers already due to a couple of other little projects going on. But I do remember sitting here with this ribbon and just pulling it across the ink pad, just pulling it out and out and out and out and out and out. Because inside that cartridge, that ribbon is just bunched up. It's just bunched up. It's fed in and just naturally pushes its way across as it just curls up inside the cartridge, and it just pulls out the other way. So yeah, I can't remember how long those are, but it felt like I was there for about a week as I was trying to re-ink this ribbon. And do you know what? It actually worked to a fair degree. So I'm quite happy about that. But over a period of time, it dried out again, and then yeah, I'd heard some crazy idea that spraying WD-40 on the ribbon would sort of rejuvenate the ink. So yeah, of course I gave it a go. Why wouldn't you? WD-40 fixes almost everything. Remember the engineer's analogy, if it's supposed to move, use some WD-40. If it's not supposed to move, duct tape it. So yeah, WD-40 on there. And it worked great for about 2 days. And then I was back to square one, and it took me most of an afternoon to try and squirt this thing with WD-40. Ridiculous nowadays, but the lengths you go to compute perhaps on a slight budget. Okay, what's the next thing up? Aha, okay, we'll grab that. That looks like an easy one to take out. Oops, there you go. So again, another RF modulator. So this one's for the Amiga, obviously you can see. This one's an interesting one because it takes a 25-pin port there, modulates it out to RF, but it also takes the stereo output from your Amiga and makes it wonderful mono for your TV. So yeah, again, that's been in the loft for far too long. Let's face it, it's just too long. Nothing particularly special about these. They do what they do. I haven't yet, but I do want to get a SCART cable for this. So this will become redundant. So there's a 25-pin connector, and of course the stereo leads there into a SCART, and apparently they give a very good picture. So looking forward to grabbing one of those at some point. They're not particularly expensive, and so that should be some fun. Right, next thing. So that I've got no idea what this does, apart from the fact that you never move that, and I can't even remember where I got this from. This is obviously my preferred sample volume. So there's a few things I did as a kid with this one. So mono or stereo input there, of course. So that plugged into the back of your Amiga. Might have to check some pin alignment. Don't know about you, but not entirely sure they're all perfectly straight anymore. But yeah, that plugged into the back of your Amiga, and you could sample stereo sound for use in your own projects. One particular thing, maybe some of you remember this one. Can you remember Shoot 'em Up Construction Kit? Yeah, I bet you can. But yeah, had some great fun with Shoot 'em Up Construction Kit. Did a couple of different little games with that, or at least sample games. You know, they only ran for about 2 or 3 minutes because I never quite got to actually finish them. One of them was a like a Star Wars fly along the trench of the Death Star sort of game, and literally just ripped and sampled the some of the shots and Vader's voice, you know, the "you are beaten," sort of as he pins Luke on that platform with his lightsaber. Yeah, good fun, those. Good fun. Right, next thing. Oh, printer lead. Oh, there we go. Oh, printer lead. Look at that, how exciting. So yeah, that was at the back of the Amiga, and that was to the that was the back of the printer. Yeah, before the days of well before the days of USB. It's obviously a bit worse for wear nowadays, having been in the bottom of the box for at least 20 years. Okay, so getting near the end of the box. Oh, trusty Amiga mouse, my goodness, I don't know what's happened to that. But yeah, that looks terrible. Good Lord, looks like I've spilled half a coffee in there at some point. Yeah, if anything needs a clean up before trying to use it, it's going to be that, isn't it? Ooh. Notice the different tone. That would be because you hardly ever right mouse button clicked, and you always left mouse button clicked. It's just worn a little bit. Yeah, I used that mouse a lot. That was how the cable laid on the mouse mat. I'd created my own mouse mat out of a very thick bit of cardboard, and I graffitied all over it, and I thought that was cool. But obviously the black permanent marker sort of left its quite literally mark on the bottom of the cable there. But yeah, that looks terrible. Obviously appealed to my sense of humour massively. I've got no idea where that came from. I assume it was a computer related thing. It's obviously had mucky palm oil on it, not that sort of palm oil, but palm oil on there. But yeah, appealed to my sense of humour, that. Beware of the mouse. Ooh. Okay. Interestingly, those Amiga mice, you can get optical replacement circuit boards for those. So that was ball mouse. So back in the day, you didn't have say something like this one over here, just a little red light there. It was a large rubberized ball that just sort of mechanically actuated a couple of wheels, and then LEDs and photo sensors would work out what you'd done and how you'd moved your mouse. So yeah, definitely contemplating the idea of an optical upgrade for that. Oh, I was going to say the best till last. You didn't see that. You didn't see that. And I say the best, actually. The best was probably the VIC20, but don't tell my Amiga. Well, there we go. Cool. Power brick. There you go. So yeah, Amiga power supply. Nothing particularly interesting about these. Apparently these connectors are pretty hard to get hold of. I mean, not pretty hard, but they're not as easy as they once were, just because of the shape of those. So I don't think they're being manufactured anymore. So even with people creating replacement power supplies, always good if you've got a blown apart. So yeah, I say people sort of creating replacement power supplies for these. Yeah, these are kind of known to go bad. Much the same as the Commodore 64 ones, the epoxy brick encased 64 ones. I think these basically suffer from the same affliction as quite a lot of other electronics around the same sort of time, in having particularly shonky capacitors, worse luck. So what I'm going to do before I do anything, I'm going to crack this open, have a quick look inside, just make sure that everything looks okay, and then I will test it as best I can with a multimeter before plugging it into my Amiga, because I do not want to fry my Amiga. Very fond memories, and I want to relive those memories on the original hardware as well. Again, looks like it's had half a coffee spilt on it. I don't know why. I don't know why it would. Yeah, weighs a ton. Weighs an absolute ton, that as well. Really quite heavy. Another power supply. Another power supply. Yeah, I've got a feeling this is for the last item in the box. But yeah, what can you say? It's a power supply. Probably worth testing, however. Probably worth testing before I plug it in. And la piste de resistance. There we go. A GVP external hard drive for the Amiga A500. Absolutely awesome, these were. I used to see these in Amiga format, CU Amiga and the likes, and I lusted after one of these. I really did. The thought of being able to boot up your computer without having to put a disk in the side to get into Workbench, yeah, this was key. And this one here, I picked up from a friend at university. Just trying to think of when that would be. Probably around the 95, 96 mark. But in profile, you can see that beautifully replicates the silhouette of the side of the Amiga there. Gorgeous bit of design. Looked really nice on the side of my Amiga. Did already come with those scratches there. Where are they? Don't know if you can see those. Yeah, they were already there. Obviously it wasn't as yellow, obviously it wasn't as grimy. I don't know what's happened to the stuff in that box. It wasn't as dusty. But yeah, these clip into the SCSI port on the side of the Amiga. And I think this one, if I remember, is a 42 megabyte drive. None of these gigabytes here. 42 megabyte drive, which is absolutely monumental at the time. It's like, wow, you can put like most of your games collection on there. It depends on who you are and how big your games collection is and how much of a pirate you may have been at the time. But yeah, 42 meg on that. This is of a time when, remember, the floppy disk drives themselves, so the floppy disks themselves, 3.5-inch floppy disks, were containing 1.44 megabytes, so that's under 1.5, of course. So yeah, this was huge, and it is quite huge. It's quite a weight. This one, if I'm right, this one's also got internal RAM in it as well. I think the hard drive's up here, there's a bit of power supply and whatnot. The hard drive's back here, and then dashed down the front here, just at angles, you've got SIM memory, and I think I've got 4 megabytes of SIM memory in there. I think it's fully populated. I think it's as much as you could take. But it was in there, and I've got a half meg of fast chip memory in the trapdoor of my Amiga. And what with the 512K on board, that gave me a total of 5 megabytes of memory, which was pretty outstanding. very good for the time, or at least the tail end of the time, sort of before I started getting sort of more into PCs and sort of having to conform, if you like. Anyway, that's it. That's the box. Obviously that needs a very good clean. So thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Just a quick look through some of the stuff I've got in my loft, brought down the other week. Pretty much everything that you've just seen is going to get cleaned up, if at all possible, sort of refurbed if it needs it, just checked over, semi put back into active service now and again. But I will be doing videos along the way. So stay safe, take care. See you later. Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in another video again soon.